Coming up on BVTV News, an event held on campus to help students grasp living in poverty. We'll tell you about the Office of Community Engagement's poverty simulation. Also in sports, within the last 3 years, the BVU basketball program has seen 6 new head coaches combined between the men's and women's teams. We'll introduce you to the 2 new coaches trying to steady the ship. Finally, remembering Moose, a former BVU basketball star lost his courageous battle with cancer last month. How the BVU community came together in his honor. From BVTV Studios on the campus of Buena Vista University in Storm Lake, Iowa, this is BVTV News. Welcome to BVTV News. I'm Guy Tannenbaum. Last week, Buena Vista University students participated in an event that provided a unique perspective on an issue seen all around the country, poverty. BVTV reporter Alyssa Ertz has the story.
On Tuesday, October 29th, the Office of Community Engagement organized 3 poverty simulations held here at Buena Vista University in Dow's multipurpose room. A group of 90 volunteers comprised of senior social work majors, student move members, and EFS scholars helped prepare and execute 3 simulations throughout the day.
The poverty simulation is an opportunity for our students to participate in what it would be like to live a month in poverty as a family role, and it's meant to really sensitize them to those experiences that people who live in poverty face every day.
Each session lasted an hour and was designed to simulate one real-life month. Participants had to survive on the limited resources they were provided, replicating the financial hardships many face daily. Organizers said the goal behind the event was to give tangible context into what living in poverty is like.
I feel like when we talk about the subject of poverty, it's like this really big, broad, in-depth thing. But when you put it in terms of a simulation, something that students can interact with, they start to come to they start to grasp what that's like.
So I think it's a really good eye-opener for a lot of people who come to college to sit here and try to figure out what this kind of thing is about, because they're going to meet people eventually in their life who have these exact same experiences.
Alyssa Ertz, BVTV News.
Keep an eye out for future events held by the Office of Community Engagement. Now it's time for Stories from the TAC, BV's online student newspaper. A feature story written by Hannah Kramer highlights the ways BVU's First Lady Carrie Merchant fills her busy schedule on campus. Merchant has taken up an internship in the Office of Student Success, providing counseling services to students. On top of that, she's also working on finishing her master's degree in mental health counseling. BVU Theater is making history by putting on its first bilingual play. Autumn McLean reported on the show titled El Nogalar. It follows the life of a Hispanic family as they navigate life in both Mexico and the United States. According to the producers, helping the audience understand different cultural perspectives is at the heart of the production. El Nogalar runs November 7th through the 9th in Anderson Auditorium at 7:30 p.m. and is free to the public and BVU students. To check out the full articles by Kramer and McLean and to stay up to date on the latest news from BVU, please visit bvtac.com. Coming up after the break, Daniel Meissner is here in studio to wrap up the fall BVU athletic season. You're watching BVTV News.
This is Buddy Beaver. He's new at BVU and wants to get involved. Overwhelmed with options, Buddy flipped on the TV. Although fascinated by the TV, he fell asleep on his sofa. Suddenly, he found himself in a dream and at sea. He was enjoying the dream until something clouded his mind. What if he never found that perfect involvement opportunity? In the midst of his worries, he spotted something. BVTV. Buddy instantly awoke with a clear mind. He could produce TV at BV. BVTV. By Beavers, for Beavers. Boo, said Buddy as he finished telling his spooky story. He loves telling all kinds of stories to his friends. That's why Buddy enjoys BVTV. Storytelling is the heart of BVTV and any good program. So if you're searching for a program with a solid story, look no further. We've got 'em. BVTV. By Beavers, for Beavers.
Welcome back to BVTV News. The snow on the ground means, unfortunately, winter is well on its way and that the fall sports season is all but over. Daniel Meissner is here in studio with the latest in sports. Daniel.
The BVU fall athletic year comes to an end this weekend as the football team travels to Dubuque to take on the Spartans for Game 10 of the season. Last week, however, the team got its first conference win over the Lutheran Norse at J. Leslie Rollins Stadium. BVU seniors were honored in a pregame ceremony once the game began. Right away, the scoring was started with a sophomore running back, Brylan Menikucci, taking it 61 yards to the end zone on a huge run, and that would give the Beavers a 7-0 lead. But that lead would not last too long, as quarterback for Luther, Parker Kaiser, on the next play would take it 68 yards down the sideline for a Luther touchdown as well. A couple of drives later, the Beavers were down a touchdown, and the Norse were able to recover an onside kick. A handoff would be botched on the play after and recovered by BVU's Nate Peterson. The Beavers would go on to score a touchdown after the fumble, and the defense got a stop, and they were able to score again. BVU receiver Eric Pacheco added the 2-point conversion to make the score 28-21. Luther came back with a touchdown of their own to make it a 1-point game, but quarterback Reyes Lara would find Eric Pacheco on the slant route over the middle for a Beaver touchdown. After the touchdown, Luther would be set to receive the kick from the Beavers, but a couple of freshmen, in Marco Kennedy and Mason Latipi, would combine for the forced fumble and the recovery. Reyes Lara, after the fumble, was able to connect with Eric Pacheco again on the slant route for another Beaver touchdown over the middle. When it was all said and done, the Beavers took down the Norse in a 60-40 shootout. As for the rest of BV's fall sports, it was a disappointing end of the season. BVU volleyball would end their season against the Dubuque Spartans, as well as the football team will be on Saturday, but Dubuque took them down in the American Rivers Conference tournament in 5 sets. Both senior Summer Goss and sophomore Sydney McLaren would be named to the all-conference team here in the American Rivers Conference. Both men's and women's soccer teams would finish their respective years without a conference win. Saying goodbye to 4 seniors on each squad, both teams looked to regroup over their pair of first-year head coaches and have a strong offseason to prepare for next fall. Finally, the cross-country teams ran their final meet of the year in the conference championships last Saturday. Unfortunately for the men, it would prove to be a rough run, as the Beavers finished the last out of 9 teams participating. However, for the women, they had their best finish in years, finding 6th place. A trio of Buena Vista winter sports are set to begin. Second-year head coach Mark Ryle and his squad of experienced Beaver wrestlers come off their best season in the last decade. They look to carry that momentum into their first deal against their toughest opponent of the season, the Loras Dewhawks. As for the pair of Beaver basketball teams, a duo of new head coaches look to shine in their first year. Sports reporter Nick Henriks has the story on David Wells and Trevor Johnson.
BVU's basketball is usually very rich in tradition. Trevor Johnson and David Wells are the new leaders of the men's and women's basketball teams and are looking to reestablish their program as perennial championship contenders.
This year will be the first opportunity for both Johnson and Wells to take over a collegiate basketball program.
Yeah, it's been really fun to be in charge. Getting the opportunity to plan, practice every day, and really controlling the direction of the team and where things go.
That's really exciting to know that you're kind of accountable for the program, but also you can see the growth and you're in charge of all of that.
With only a handful of practices under their belt, the men and women took the court in exhibition games over the past week. Both coaches are happy with what they have seen thus far.
Our kids were competitive, they gave effort, they played throughout the entire game.
We found out in our first scrimmage earlier this week that we have some guys that can really hit shots, and I'm really lucky to inherit the roster that I did.
As the season gets ready to kick off, both teams have been picked to finish 8th in the American Rivers Conference. However, these freshman head coaches appear ready to take on that challenge.
We were picked 8th in this league. That's a nice little challenge that the league gave to us, is we have the opportunity to go out and prove what we're capable of now. And at the end of the year, we'll find out if they were right, and hopefully we can prove some people wrong.
For BVTV Sports, I'm Nick Henriks.
The BVU community was devastated late last month when it was announced that former Beaver basketball player Canyon Moose Hopkins passed away after a lengthy battle with cancer. A candlelight vigil for Moose was held in Shaler Chapel on October 27th. Students, faculty, and community members gathered to remember the impact that Hopkins had on them and on BVU.
You're all here because in some shape or form he impacted your life or impacted the lives of people that you love.
We remember Moose by his determination, his kindness, and I'll never forget his smile. It was just that big smile. And I think it just by the fact that he was a big guy. it just enhanced all of that. I'll always remember that about him.
A memorial service was held November 3rd in Moose's hometown of Earlham, Iowa at the Earlham High School Gymnasium. Hopkins was 21. That's it for this edition of BVTV News, but before we sign off, I want to give a quick birthday shout out to our very own fearless leader, our BVTV advisor, Jerry Johnson. We'll see you next time here on BVTV News.